Hello everyone, and welcome back to K Audios. This is Kay, and today we're going to have part 3 of Demon and Angel Professors. First, I want to say a quick apology that this video is coming out a week late. I meant to have it out last Sunday, but things came up. So, you are going to be getting this as well as 2 other parts this week to make up for it. Now, as you all know by now, this is a Good Omens by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett fanfiction by Ghostinthehouse. And again, as I said before, this is part 3 of Demon and Angel Professors. As always, links will be in the description, and a huge shout out thank you to Ghostinthehouse for letting me create these. Now, before I start this, I'm actually going to be giving a slight warning this time, and this warning will also be in the description. There are mentions of anti-nonbinary attitudes. This is not a huge part of the story. It gets taken care of very quickly, but if you're feeling particularly sensitive to that sort of stuff right now, keep in mind your own mental health, and maybe come back later to listen to the chapter. Alright everyone, let's start Save Me a Seat by Ghostinthehouse. Says here that singular they isn't grammatically correct, one student read out and another grimaced and straightened their pronoun pin. On the contrary, a warm, eager man's voice butted in, it goes back to at least Middle English, and both students turned to see Dr. Fell there, beaming. Before they could get in so much as a greeting, he was off into an impromptu speech about Chaucer, Shakespeare, and 18th century grammar reactionists. They glanced at each other and settled back to wait him out, knowing perfectly well that nothing was going to stem the tide of knowledge before he got it all out. A long hand landed on Dr. Fell's shoulder, and he actually paused for breath. Dr. Crowley drawled, "You're drowning the youngsters in information, and if I don't kidnap you now, we won't be back for afternoon lectures. Come along." If the students weren't so sure that they knew the two were enemies, or that Dr. Crowley was a horrible, vicious man, they might have taken the look on his face to be conspiratorial amusement. Dr. Fell babbled a quick apology that the students were too stunned to take in, and scuttled off after the other professor. The pair looked at each other. "Nobody is ever going to believe that happened," the one with the pin said, almost wistfully. The other student rubbed his eyes. "I'm not sure I believe it myself. We got rescued. From Dr. Fell Info Flood. By Dr. Crowley, who seems to have some miraculous ability to stop Dr. Fell in mid-flow. Can we just, not mention it?" The rumors rose and fell like tides over the course of weeks. Thankfully for Dr. Fell, his students stopped doing the waiting for him dance after a few weeks, with a brief resurgence following a tale that Dr. Crowley had been overheard making plans to kidnap poor Dr. Fell. But despite the anecdotes he dropped about his dear husband, the time he had taken Anthony under his wing, how at first it seemed to rain every time they met, the apples they'd wound up competing over, nobody seemed to connect Anthony to Crowley. And then Halloween rolled around, and a host of activities rolled out, including a combination party for staff and students. Dr. Fell had stopped by the Halloween party dressed as an angel, complete with a tinsel halo, and was sitting primly on a folded chair when Dr. Crowley sauntered in. He had clearly come dressed as a demon, with a crimson waistcoat bright against his usual tight black clothes and plastic horns in his chestnut hair. He glanced around, hands in his pockets, and then drifted through a sea of whispers to Dr. Fell's side. "Move over, Angel," he told him, and Aziraphale gladly vacated the chair he'd saved. He always did save a seat for his other half, if he could. Crowley slouched down into it with relief, and a good half of the looks he got from the students were disapproving. The other half were probably still recovering from the shock of seeing Dr. Crowley, of all people, making a friendly-sounding joke about someone's costume. "Now I'm a thief, stealing your chair on top of throwing you into a wall and kidnapping you for lunch," he mumbled, the hard lines of his mouth easing into a smile as he looked around. "Still, what can you expect, running around with a demon like me?" Aziraphale laced his fingers over his white-robed paunch. "Oh, I don't know, my dear. An excellent cup of Earl Grey and some petit fours? A good Merlot?" "Ha!" Crowley shifted position and draped one arm over the back of the chair. A handful of students gawped at the fact he knew how to laugh, and then scuttled away. He watched them go, with almost wistful eyes behind his sunglasses, and then looked up at Aziraphale. "So, Angel," he asked quietly, "do bad jokes that scare kids count as tricks or treats?" Alright, everyone, that was part 3 of Demon and Angel Professors, and in a little while, part 4 will be out, and part 4 is Hear Me Out. So that will be out probably an hour after this one goes live, and I just want to say, everyone, welcome to the new year. Happy 2021. Stay safe, healthy, and happy. Bye.